my name is Giovanna Proença, and today we're going to talk about problem set 1, Home Federal Saving Banks of CS50 Introduction to Programming with Python. So before we start, if you have any question about programming or about the career, schedule a free meeting with us, alright, the link is in the description. And we would like to emphasize that this video solution is made for those who have already completed the assignment and want to have another review about the solution. We totally do not support plagiarism, alright? So let's see this problem here. Basically, we have to create a file, so we're gonna do a new code where we are going to implement a program that prompts the user for a greeting. Like we can see here, we have a greeting, right? We have here greeting, all right? And whatever the user type in, we're gonna see what is the answer. Then if the greeting starts with hello, output $0, all right? So here, if it starts with hello, we're gonna output 0. Here, hello again, even if it's hello Giovanna, it will output 0, all right? If the greeting starts with an H, all right? Not hello, but H, like hey, hi, we're going to output $20. And otherwise, the other cases that we can have a greeting, we're gonna output $100. Ignore any leading white space in the user's greeting and treat the user's greeting case insensitively, alright? So when we see these leading white spaces, case insensitive, we already have some red flags that we're gonna use some functions, alright, to make this work. So this is the case, this is the example, alright? If the user print hello, we're going to have 0, hey, it's $20, how you doing, $20, and finally if it's like what's happening, we're gonna put $100. Okay, so let's see the pseudocode. Basically what we have to do is we're going to get user input, all right? We're going to check if the answer has hello, then we're going to check if the answer starts with H, and otherwise print and the other case, all right? We're gonna do something else, okay? So before we start, let's see how we're going to get the user input. Basically, the function input allows us to ask questions to the user, and the answer that the user typed in, we can store in a variable. For example, if we want to ask the name of the user, we can do username equals to input, what's your name? And it will be prompt in the terminal. The user can write his name. If the user types in Giovanna, the variable username will store Giovanna. Since the answer is stored in a variable, we can use this answer in our code. So now that we understood how the input function works, let's add in here, alright? Before we start, I just improved here the code. I just said what we're gonna print for each case, alright? So let's start. I'm gonna create a variable that will be answer, and this answer variable will store whatever the user typed in the prompt, alright? So I'm gonna put here input, and like here we have in the example, he's expecting us to prompt greeting. So I'm gonna put this, alright? So here, greeting, and we're going to store whatever the user type in here, okay? So if we do pythonbank.py, it's going to appear greeting, and we can type in whatever, okay? So far we don't have any logic. Now let's start to think how we're gonna check all the cases that we have. So first we need to have a good understanding on if and else conditions. Let's see how it works. Python if and else statements help coders control the flow of their programs. An if and else Python statement evaluates whether an expression is true or false. If a condition is true, the if statement executes. Otherwise, the else statement executes. Let's suppose we want to check if a number is greater than 10. The number we want to check is stored in the variable x. We can check if this number is greater than 10 by doing if x operator greater and the number 10. If this condition is true, we're going to print numbers greater than 10 only. Otherwise, if the condition is false, we're going to have our else statement. In the else, we're going to print any condition satisfied. Let's see one example in the code above. Let's suppose that x stores the value 7. The if condition won't be true because 7 is not greater than 10. Then we will skip the if block and go to the else, printing any condition satisfied. Let's do another example, making the variable x holding the value 15. In this case, the if condition will be true because 15 is greater than 10, and we will print numbers greater than 10 only. After that, we won't see the else condition because we already found our right condition. A Python elif statement checks for another condition if all preceding conditions are not met. They appear after a Python if statement and before an else statement. You can use as many elif statements as you want. Now that we've learned elif, let's improve the previous code with an elif statement. Let's add one more condition where we want to check if the number is less than 0. In this case, we would write elif x, the operator less, and the number 0. If this condition is true, we will print negative numbers only. Let's see one example in the code above. Let's suppose that x stores the value -5. The if condition won't be true because -5 is not greater than 10. Then we will skip the if block and go to the elif block. Now we're going to check if this elif condition is true. Since -5 is less than 0, we will print negative numbers only. After that, we won't see the else condition because we already found our right condition. Let's do another example, making the variable x hold the value 5. In this case, the if condition won't be true because 5 is not greater than 10. Then we will skip the if block and go to the elif condition. Again, this elif condition won't be true because 5 is not less than 0. Then we will skip the elif block and go to the else condition. In this else, we're going to print any condition satisfied. So now that we saw how if and else condition works, let's start implementing in our code, alright? So what if we do here if answer equals hello. Alright, let's see what happens. And we're gonna print $0. Okay, so if we try it out in here, we're gonna have the following: python bank.py, and we're gonna say like hello, and it's displaying $0, right? But what if we try to type in hello Newman? This is one thing that they ask us to do here, like hello Newman, right? So are we gonna receive 0? Oh, sorry, I didn't run the Python bank. So what if we do hello Newman? It's not printing anything, and it's supposed to print $0. So what is happening here? We're just checking if the answer that we are receiving it's exactly the same as hello. We're not checking if the answer contains the word hello inside the phrase. So we have to think about this, alright? So to do this, we're going to take a look at this method here, the check method, alright? So what the check method does here? So we can use this in operator, alright? And this in operator is the easiest and Pythonic way to check if a Python string contains a substring. This is exactly what we want to do, alright? The in and not in are membership operators. They can take in 2 arguments and evaluate if one is a member of the other.